Hey scholars, Miss Sanchez here. I know last week I introduced the pickleball unit, so today I want to cover some rules and proper techniques that will need to be implemented in order to maintain a safe and successful unit. So, first off, some of the topics I'm going to be covering. Basic pickleball rules, proper versus improper grips as far as holding the pickleball paddle, some ways to implement independent practice, and some ways to implement partner practice if you do have someone at home that you're able to practice with. So, first off, pickleball rules. Remember that the game is played on a tennis court, however, the lines and dimensions are much different. So, number one, serve behind the service line. 2, a ball that lands on the line is in. So, this is always a big controversy as far as if the ball is in or out. If the ball lands on the line, that ball is in. Remember that there is one bounce allowed before contacting the ball. Now, a ball that bounces twice before contact is a point for the other team. This does not mean that you have to let the ball bounce. If you choose to hit the ball straight from the air, that is totally fine. If you choose to let the ball bounce, it can only bounce once before you need to return it. Remember that the game is played in pairs. So this is a team of 2. You and your partner will compete against opposing partners if you're able to find somebody to play against. Now, I know some of you may need equipment at home. You can basically find pickleball rackets and balls anywhere, Target, Walmart. I also have some on campus that you guys are able to use. All you need to do is stop by the office, and I will lend you as many paddles as needed. So I know it may be kind of difficult to play this at home, being that some may not be familiar with pickleball, but I promise you, it is fun. It gets very competitive, and it is a great sport to play with your friends, your family, and whoever you can find. So, lastly, the game is done by rally scoring. So this is much different than, the basic service scoring. So this means anytime you score a point, you receive a point for that play. So this is not only service, meaning that you only are allowed to score a point on your serve. This is rally scoring. So anytime you get the ball in bounds, or if the other team makes a mistake, you receive a point for that play. Now, this visual right here shows a great job of a ball taking one bounce. So this, as you can see, the server right here bounced it one time over the net, and then it went to the receiver. Now, when the receiver hit it, the ball bounced 2 times before it got back to the opponent. So this would be a point for the blue team or the receiver. So this is very important, and I thought a really good visual showing how many bounces are allowed during a pickleball game. Proper grip. Now, this is always very important to make sure that you maintain a proper grip. So I like to use the handshake grip. So just like as if you were going to shake somebody's hand, you want to open your hand like this and then slowly hold your hand and cradle the racket like that. Now, of course, there are other ways to hold the racket. You can go full grip like this, but you want to make sure regardless that you have a steady grip. So holding the racket with your dominant hand is most important. You never want to put the racket in your weak hand. Of course, that's not going to give you a great chance of making it over the net. You want to make sure that that ball is in your dominant hand. Now, in your opposing hand is going to be the pickleball. So you'll hold the ball just like you would in tennis, and you're going to maintain a forward motion to make contact with the ball. So while you are serving, it needs to come with an underhand motion. So just as you can see this guy right here, he has the paddle in his rear, the ball in his front. So he's going to maintain a forward swing and contact the ball with the middle part of his racket. So you don't want to hit on the ends. Of course, that's going to make the ball go all different types of directions. You want to make sure that you're hitting it in the base of the paddle. Now, when serving, there are 2 methods, which are, of course, based on your preference. So you can hit the ball from your hand, which is just hitting the ball right out of your hand, so there is no toss. Or you can slightly let the ball go and then contact the ball as the ball is still in the air. Both are proper methods. You just want to find the one that works best for you. So remember, handshake grip is what I like to go with. You just want to maintain a steady grip on the paddle. And then when serving or contacting the ball, you want to make sure that it is with an underhand motion. There are some instances where you may have to go overhand and hit it where the balls are coming above your head, but most of the time it's going to be an underhand motion just like it would be in tennis. Now, some independent practices that you can implement. The first thing that I like to start with here at school is just an independent rally. So you're just going to grab the paddle, grab the ball, and you're just going to try to volley it in the air for about 20 times in a row. That is your goal. Now, obviously, if you don't get it 20 times in a row the first time, that's totally fine. But that is going to help you with your control, your balance, and kind of just getting you used to putting contact from the ball to the paddle. Once you feel that you've gotten a hang of that, you can implement wall drills. So this is really fun for people who kind of want to get a little bit of more strength and more pressure on the ball. So you're gonna just find an open wall. Of course, this is something that you want to be done outside. And you're just going to hit the ball in two different ways. You're going to hit the ball with no bounce. So that means you're just hitting it straight back and forth off the wall. Once you feel you have a good rhythm with that, then you can allow one bounce in between. Remember, you don't want to allow more because during the game you are allowed only one bounce. So you can go straight off the wall, just hitting it back and forth with no bounce. Or if you feel that you have enough control, then you can implement that one bounce rule. So both ways are going to be very beneficial for independent practice. Now, if you have a partner to work with, obviously this is going to be the most beneficial because it's more game-like. So you and your partner can practice with one bounce in between. Remember, you never want to go more than one bounce because that's not game-like. You want to only go with one bounce in between you and your partner. From second of that, you can move on to no bounce. So this is when you and your partner feel that you have enough control of the paddle, of the ball, of your strength, of your momentum. Then you can go with that no bounce contact. Thirdly, you can then practice over the net. So this is a great way to practice serving. This is a great way to get used to the court dimensions. If you're able to find some open space, let's say in a street, at a park, at a tennis court, this is a great way to understand the dimensions of the court and just kind of getting that feel of playing over the net. And then, of course, if you have enough people, then you can obviously play a practice game against two other partners. So depending on how many people you have at home, there are great ways to practice. This is just the beginning of our pickleball unit. So later in the week, I will discuss, some tournament rules and things like that. If this is something that you really, really want to get into at home or, maybe somewhere throughout your hometown. So these are definitely things that we need to work on before we're able to move to real competitions. So again, we have independent practice, we have partner practice, we have partner games, but most importantly, it's just finding that really good strategy and implementing that for yourself. Let me know how you guys do. I'm super excited and anxious to see how it goes.